All right, here we go. This is Chef Paul. We're doing strawberry sauce. We're going to talk a little bit about strawberry sauce, cleaning strawberries, okay? You're going to take these have been washed already. You're going to need to take off the tip. You want to make sure that you take the crown off. We don't want to cut too much. We want the strawberries, so don't cut too much. Anything bad, that's a bad one. We're going to get rid of that. But you're going to cut them, okay? I'm using the paring knife. We went over that last class, small knife for the job. I'm cutting these. So you get them all cut like that. And when you're making strawberry sauce, that means we're going to be cooking this. That means that we do not want to cut these too small or you will end up with mush. So we're not going to cut them too small. Just going to put them in here, cut them a few cuts like that. And this all has to happen fast because we're not making jam. And I'll show you how we're going to do this. Boom. Depending on the size, depends. This is small. I'm going to cut them just in 4. If they're larger, you want to, the key with them is make sure they're not too small or they will turn into mush. There we go. So you get your strawberries in the pan. Next thing we need to do is we need to add the sugar. The sugar takes 1/4 of a cup or 2 ounces. Okay, first time using measurements. You're going to take it like this. You're going to make sure that it's over, and then you're going to take something and you're going to make sure it's flat. So there we go. We're going to add our sugar. Right? It's real simple. We got sugar in there. Remember, now we're going to add water. Okay, I'm going to add same thing, 1/4 of a cup of water, which 1/4 of a cup is 2 ounces, and which you guys will learn. All right, so we got in there, we got the strawberries, we have the sugar, and we have the water. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of lemon juice to it. All right? Just a 1/2 teaspoon of lemon juice. Whoa, there we go. Vanilla extract. We're going to add another 1/2 teaspoon. I'm just going to use the lid. This is basically a teaspoon, so I'm only going to fill it up halfway. I mean, it wouldn't hurt it if you put more. If you like vanilla, you can actually add more. I'm just going to add a little bit to it. There we go. All right. So now what's in here? We got the water, we have the sugar, the lemon juice, and the vanilla, and the strawberries. Okay, we're going to take that here. I'm going to use a wooden spoon. We're going to mix it. Okay, now this is something, I'm going to heat this up. I'm going to bring it up. Before I heat it up, you're going to learn about a starch. We're going to be using cornstarch. Cornstarch is going to thicken this up. Cornstarch is, we are going to put 2 teaspoons. Now you're going to learn how to use cornstarch. You're going to put 2 teaspoons in a little container. Okay, doing the same thing, making sure it's flat. 1, 2, just like that. All right, this is how we make. You're going to take it like this. Now this is the trick to it. You are going to add water to it, okay? So this is how we thicken all kinds of different things, sauces, gravies. Now to use water, see how I have it there? I'm just going to add enough water in here to make what we call, oh, that's enough. So now you see this, and now I'm just going to use my finger, and I'm going to mix it. I did wash my hands, by the way. Perfect. There we go. Now I'm ready to go. So now you have to have all of this done before you start cooking it, because otherwise you will end up with mush. So now we're ready. We got our strawberries in here, and we have our cornstarch. So now I'm going to go to the stove. I'm going to bring this up to a boil. The sugar is going to melt. Once that happens, I'm going to dump the cornstarch in there, and it's going to get cloudy. Then it's going to come back up to a boil, and it's going to be shiny, and it's done. We do not reduce this. We are not making a jam. So I'm going to come over to the stove. I'm going to turn it on. There we go. Now this is all going to happen fast. As it goes, we're just going to let that cook. There's not a lot of liquid in there, so it should happen fast. In a minute or so, we got it going. I'll let you know when it starts to boil. Then I'm going to add the cornstarch. Then we got to get it cold. The key with this is we don't want to lose the integrity of the strawberries. We're making a sauce out of it. They use this a lot on cheesecakes, desserts. We're going to put it on our pancakes. Waffles, they put it on waffles a lot. This is a fruit sauce. You could do it with blueberries. You could do it with blackberries. You could do it with anything. The method's the same. All right. Here we go. It's starting to boil now. Get in there, you can start to see the pot is it's starting to that point. What we're looking for is the sugar to melt. It's almost there. I'm going to stir it just a little bit. All right, we're just about there. All right, so now you can see the sides are there. That means that the sugar has melted, and I'm going to add the cornstarch. So I just mix this all in, I dump it, and I stir it. It's going to get cloudy. It's cloudy. That's exactly how it's supposed to look. Now, so get it all in there. We're going to bring it back up. And it's going to go from being cloudy to shiny and clear. At that point, it's done. We're not reducing, we're not cooking. We're just going to get this starch going here. Let's see it. See, it's all nice and cloudy. That's how it's supposed to look. It's getting there. Starting to get there. It's starting to get there. It's starting to get thick. It should get clear. Another. Here we go. It's almost there now. You can start to see it starting to get clear. Should get nice and shiny. And then we're going to get it cold. There we go. Perfect. It's done. Now we take this. I'm going to put it in a bowl. It's done. Put it in this little bowl right here. Now we're going to put it in an ice bath. If you don't have ice, you can put it directly into the freezer, which I'll probably do both. You put it in here. You stir it. And that is your strawberry sauce. And I'm going to show you how we're going to use that later on the pancakes. It needs to get cold. So you'll make that first. Put it in an ice bath like that, and you can put it in the freezer as well. So what I'm going to do, since we don't have a lot of time, is I'm going to take it like this in this ice bath, and I'm going to put it in the freezer. So put it in the freezer. It'll probably take about 15 minutes or so, and we're going to be good to go. All right, we're going to be making the next thing we're going to show here is called fresh whipped cream. All right, so we're going to be using heavy whipping cream. We're going to make a small batch. Now the key with this is when you make it at home, if you have a KitchenAid mixer, you can go ahead and use it. I'm assuming most people don't. So you'll be using a whisk like this and a bowl. The key with it, if you do it by hand, is it has to be frozen, or cold, I should say. So what you're going to do is this. You're going to take it and you're going to measure. I'm just going to make a half cup here. Boom. You're going to add your heavy cream in here, right? Then we're going to add our powdered sugar. It's very important that we use powdered sugar, not regular sugar, or it will be grainy. Okay, we use powdered sugar for things that aren't going to be heated up. Icings, whipped cream. Another word for powdered sugar, some people call it icing sugar. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit so there's a little bit of powdered sugar in there. Then we're going to add vanilla. Add a little vanilla. I'm just going to add a half a teaspoon. Whoop. There we go. Inside. All right, now this here needs to, like I said, to make sure that you mix it all like this. And then what you will do is you will put this in the freezer, all right, for 10 minutes to get it cold. All right, so either way, before or after, it doesn't matter, but it needs to be cold. So you get it nice and cold. At that point, it comes out. And then if you have ice, you can even put it on an ice bath. The colder you make it, the easier it will be to whip. So now I have this one here, and I've already started. This one was in the freezer for 10 minutes. I put it in an ice bath, and you can see that it's already starting to turn into whipped cream. Nice, and you're getting those nice peaks already. And that's what you do. You just keep whipping it, whipping it. There we go. That's it. You got whipped cream. That's fresh whipped cream right there. And you see how it sticks on there. That's what you're looking for. But you can't do it unless it's cold. So you need to make sure that you put the whipped cream in the freezer and get it really, really ice cold, and then it will work. This took less than 5 minutes to mix, but that was because it was in the freezer. I took that in, put it in the freezer for about 10 minutes, took it out and whipped it. Now I'm going to show you how we're going to put this whole thing together. We're going to do pancakes here. So we're going to go over pancakes, measuring again. We're using all-purpose flour, and later we're going to go over all the different flours. But how do you do a measurement of flour? Same thing as we did on the last. You lift it up. Make sure it's flat. That's 1. So we're doing 1 cup. I'm going to do 1.5 cups. So here we go. Same thing. All right. We're making a pancake. When you bake, as we go forward with this class, sugar will be considered a liquid. But in this case, we're not using much sugar. But when we bake and we get into desserts and we use a lot of sugar, we are actually going to be putting that in with the liquids. But in this case, it's not that much, so we're going to end up putting it in here. All right, I'm going to start with baking powder. 2. Baking powder is the leavener. That's what makes it rise. I'm going to go over that, what leavening is. Next thing is sugar. I said sugar is considered a liquid, but since in this particular case, we're going to go ahead and put it with the dry stuff. Again, 1, 2, and 3. There we go. So we got baking powder, sugar, and flour. Next, salt. Now, we are using kosher salt. Now at home you may not have kosher salt. When we're at GV, we will be using kosher salt. All professional kitchens use kosher salt. So all our recipes are for kosher salt. We're going to do the same thing. I put it in here and make it flat, and I put 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. If you are not using kosher salt at home, which you probably aren't, then you will put 1/2 teaspoon, and I will make a modification on the recipe. Now the difference with kosher salt and regular salt is kosher salt is a grain that's much thicker. It doesn't lump up, and all restaurants use. I've never been in a restaurant that doesn't use it. It's all kosher salt. It's easy to work with. It's clean, and in Deer Valley, that's what we'll be using. So I have everything in here. I'm going to put a pinch of cinnamon in as well. Okay, a little bit of cinnamon. All right, so what do we have in here right now? We have all-purpose flour, baking powder. We have sugar. What else? Flour, baking powder, salt, sugar. Now we're going to put the wet ingredients in, all right? So we're going to start with an egg. I'm going to put 1 egg inside, all right? 1 egg. Boom, 1 egg. All right, 1 egg goes inside. Now we're going to put buttermilk. Here we go, buttermilk. You can use milk. The recipe will say either or. So if you just want to use milk at home, that's fine. Buttermilk gives it a little better flavor, a little more tang to it. So there's 1 and 1/4 cup. Okay, you guys will be learning 1 cup is 8 ounces, 1/4 cup is 2 ounces. Next is vanilla, calls for 1 teaspoon. And like we're going to use at Deer Valley, vanilla is, you're just adding a flavor, so I'm just going to use the cap. 1 cap is basically right there, that's 1 teaspoon. I didn't quite, there's 1 teaspoon of vanilla. All right, so we got 1 teaspoon of vanilla in there. Now I'm going to add butter. So I have melted butter already here. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 tablespoons of butter inside. So we go 1. Well, actually, I'm going to mix it first. So I got to mix it. Mix it. So we're going to go ahead and mix this. I should have had a bigger bowl. That will make it work, man. You can make it work. Just got to go slow. Get it all mixed. Get it all mixed in there. Put that egg in there. Break that egg up. There we go. And you'll use a spoon for this. You just use a, if you have a wooden spoon, that works great. Just kind of mix it all up. Keep mixing it up. There we go. It's looking good. Now we're just about ready to add the butter. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of butter. You want to do that after you've mixed it. Now we're going to go ahead and add the 2 tablespoons of melted butter. This is what makes it moist. Gives that nice flavor, nice and moist. Now we're going to mix it. It should get nice and smooth. The egg yolk is going to take that, and you're actually creating an emulsion here, which we'll learn about. Look at this. It's getting nice and smooth. Perfect. Look at that. Beautiful. That is perfect. It's kind of shiny and smooth, and that's what you want. It's all right if it's got a couple lumps there. That's going to be just fine. Look at that. All right, we're ready to go. Perfect. Oh, now we're going to be cooking the pancakes. I'm going to show you a couple things. I have a griddle here which has an actual thermostat, so it's going to be set and you kind of place them down. It's an easy way to do it. You're also, if you do not have one, you can cook them in a pan. This is just a basic non-stick pan like this, or a non-stick pan that's bigger like any of these two. Or if you have a griddle at home that you put on the gas stove, you can do. There's no thermostat with this. You would just have to adjust the heat. So you got to make sure that when you bring it up, it gets brown. You're going to have to turn it down because they will burn. So you have to monitor the heat going up and down with them. I'm going to be over here. This one's got a thermostat. It's actually an easier one to use. So we're going to start with this. I'm going to be using spray. Now you guys can use butter or spray. Spray is easy. All right, take it like this. You're going to use any type of ladle you want, different sizes. We'll go one. Okay. Perfect. I'm just going to do 3 on here. All right, so now they're cooking. Now you're going to decide what you want to flavor them with. All right, so I'm going to put some of these on here. So these are just regular marshmallows. I'm going to put some chocolate chips on this one. So there's some chocolate chips and marshmallows. One of them, let's see, I'm going to put a raspberry here. It's a big raspberry. A couple raspberries, maybe some blueberries on this one as well. All right, maybe I'll throw a marshmallow. All right, boom, maybe a few sprinkles. You can put anything if you want to put. Anything you could think of, you can put in them. I'm going to just do a traditional banana one on this one. Maybe bananas, fruit on this one here. Maybe some chocolate banana, or you can just keep them plain. You can put M&Ms in them. You can put Reese, whatever you guys want to put in them, you'll be able to put in them. Boom. Here we go. I had here some. These are just like. Sprinkle some sugar on that one. Well, these are your cookie sugars, and you let it go. Look at them. You can start to see they're bubbling a little bit. This is how you check. You're going to make sure. I'm looking to make sure I'm getting some color on it. See, I'm starting to get a little bit of color there. So now I'm going to flip this one. You're going to take it, flip it, one turn. Okay? Take them over here. We're going to do the same on this one. We're going to turn it once. Take this one over here, do the same thing, and let it go. Let those stay. They're getting nice. Remember, you don't push pancakes. They're not flat. They're supposed to be cakes. That means you want that leavening. They should be nice and light, fluffy. All right, so now we're flipping them over. I got 2 of them flipped already. We're going to flip this last one here. Boom. You get them nice and brown there. The different ones are on there. So we got, what do you got? Bananas, raspberries. I'm going to let those go another 30 seconds, and then we're going to, I'm going to show you how you're going to present them. All right, now we're to the final step. We made our pancakes. I got a stack. I did another batch. That's why we've grown our stack. You do not have to stack them like this. You can put them on any type of plate you want. They can be cut. They can be spread out. You can do any type of presentation you want, but making sure that your plate is clean. All right, so what you're going to do is we're going to take some of this here, and I'm going to put a little bit of this on it. We're starting our, just kind of let it roll off. Okay. You can use any type of syrup. You don't have to use maple. And we're going to take that strawberry sauce that we made. Right? We made that fresh strawberries coming off of it. Okay, I'm going to have this coming down. All right, so we got this just like they would have in a restaurant. All right, so we're going to have that coming off. Make sure it's nice and clean. Then I'm going to put a couple of bananas on the side just to throw a few. You can do it, like I said, whatever you want, whatever you have. I'm using whatever I have here. So I'm going to throw a couple of raspberries on here. Why not? I got them. That on the side. That on the side. I'm going to put a couple blueberries off to the side here like this. Okay. Just like that. Then I'm going to look at what else I want to do. Okay, we made our whipped cream, so I definitely want to put our whipped cream in here. We made it, so we're just going to use spoons. So this is how you do it with 2 spoons. You're just going to take it like this. And we'll put a little dollop on the top, just like a little football. Then we're gonna take some mint. I have some fresh mint as a garnish here. And we're gonna take a little bit. We're gonna use our mint. And we're gonna put that on top. All right, we're almost done. Look at that, just like that. Now we're gonna take just a little bit of powdered sugar and we're just gonna dust it. We're just gonna dust it. Just a little bit on the mint, a little bit of snow, a little bit of snow. Beautiful, look at that, beautiful. Just a light dusting, making sure it's clean, making sure our rim is clean. It looks like something. There you go. It's just like something that you would present in a restaurant. So you guys will be doing something similar. Whatever you want to, you can make it look any way you want to make it look, but it needs to look nice.